What's up guys, Itchy here. Today I am bringing you a guide on damage calculation. So this one's going to be a little more involved than the recovery ones, and that's just because there's a lot more to cover. First of all, I just wanted to let you know why this is important. It's important because you don't want to waste certain items and you don't want to waste certain Brave Burst, especially ones that don't stack. And I'll be getting into that eventually. I'll be showing you an in-game example so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So first of all, I will get to the actual formula, and this is a long one, so bear with me here. You're talking damage done equals the attack of the unit times, in parentheses, 1.0 plus sphere, plus leader skill, plus a friend's leader skill, plus potion, plus ore, plus an attack buff Brave Burst, and plus your own Brave Burst, end bracket, critical hit, times elemental, and times spark. Now this seems like a lot, and I know it's a lot to take in all at once, but let me go through it one by one so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So the first thing you want to know is you have your base unit, the base attack of the unit, and then you have that times whatever's in that parentheses. So that parentheses actually has a 1.0, and that's just so it has something to multiply against so that you're not dealing with any zeros or anything like that. And then you'll have the sphere. One example of the sphere, I'll go in here and I'll check out one of these gallants that I'm going to be showing you in game. Motomasa is what he is holding, and I'll show you the other one doesn't have it just so you have something to compare to. So yeah, one has it, one doesn't. They're both anima. Not that it matters because they're both level 1. But anyway, just so you understand that part. But yeah, as you know, some spheres do give extra attack, and that one actually gives 50% attack. Then you also have leader skills here, like Vargas. His leader skill, 50% boost to attack power of all fire types. So they will be getting the fire type boost as well. And then also you can bring along a friend unit, which we will be doing, to get an extra boost for their leader skill. And then you also have potions, which I will show you in game. Also ores and attack buffs and Brave Burst. Now potions, as you know, you have things like the Brute Potion, where it will give you an extra 50% attack for 3 turns for a single unit. So that gets added on as well. Ores, I'm going to be using Fire Ore, which will give another 50% attack boost. And also the attack buff Brave Burst, I'll be using Lancia to show you, and I have another one just to show you what happens when you stack them, or what doesn't happen for that matter. And then you have Brave Burst. Now the Brave Burst itself would be your individual Brave Burst level of an attacking Brave Burst. So right here, like Vargas, his Brave Burst is level 10, so he would get a certain value that gets added into all of that. Now that goes up with each level of your Brave Burst, so if I were to use the level 1 Super Brave Burst, the value would be different. But actually what you need to know is an area of attack Brave Burst is going to have a lower value than a single target Brave Burst, and that is because the single targets are only attacking 1 unit, so they need to be higher values, so that's why you'll get more damage singly. And then that whole parentheses gets times by the critical hit rate. You would add all of that together, and then that gets times by the critical hit rate, which would be 1.5 times. And then you have that times the elemental rate, which would be 1.5 times if it's in your favor, or it would be 0.5 times, that would be under 1, which would decrease it. And that would be if it is not in your favor. And then you also have spark, which is another 1.5 times, so all of that gets multiplied by spark as well. So now that you have a general understanding of what I'm talking about, and hopefully you do, because I know it's a little bit confusing right now, but I will go in here to Cave of Flames. Hopefully we can get a favorable matchup so I can show this right away. I will go in here to Wielder of Fire, and let's see what we can find here. We'll bring along a Fire Friend. And we'll begin quest and see what we can do here. Now he's going to give us our 50% on top. Now the reason why 2 leader skills are listed, but not 2 potions or ores or anything like that, you only get 1 value out of everything except for leader skills. So the leader skills do stack, potions don't stack, ores don't stack, attack Brave Burst don't, or attack buff Brave Burst don't stack. So you just need to keep that in mind because that will not influence anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this one just because it's got 3 enemies. I can give you an example. It's not going to be exact numbers because we are going to have different defensive values, but we don't have an actual formula for defense yet, so we're going to go with what we've got. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with the regular Gallant, just so you have an idea of what the base attack looks like, even with the 250% attack leader skills. So we'll go ahead and attack with them, and we'll record our number. 1137. So I'll go ahead and write that down. And then what we'll be doing is we will be attacking with the other Gallant, and we will be adding in everything next turn. So we'll go ahead and guard with all. And now my basic thing I want to be able to do here is I want to add in the Brute Elixir, which I know will stack. So we'll go ahead and use that on him. And then we'll use the Fire Ore, which will be another 50%. And then I will actually get Head Chef Lancia's Brave Burst going. So that should be everything we need to get the maximum amount of damage out of this unit, and as I said before, he is the same. He does have a Muramasa on him, just so you have some reference there. So we'll go ahead and use Lancia's ability first. So now he's going to have the extra 50% on top of that, and we'll go ahead and record our number. 2045. That is a significant increase in damage. Now we'll guard with all, and what I'll show you on the next turn is I will use the other Lancia. Now it's going to be a little confusing because that Muramasa is not going to be taking effect anymore. Actually, what I may do is, since we have 3 turns on this, I may attack with the other Gallant, just so you can get an idea of what his damage is going to look like next turn. Let's see here. So that is not, well actually, yeah, everything else is used already. So what I'll do is I will use the other Gallant, but I will go ahead and use Lancia's on top of that. So keep in mind that extra 50% is not going to be there, but I'm going to go ahead and use a Fire Ore, I'm going to use Lancia's ability, I'm going to use all this stuff, and you're going to see that this stuff does not actually stack. So while we are losing the 50%, we are not gaining anything. So if those things were to help us gain, then losing that 50% would be a non-issue. I would be gaining that 50% from the Fire Ore, plus I would be gaining some extra off of Lancia's Brave Burst, so we'll go ahead and use Gallant's attack and see what we come out with here. 1786. As you can see, that is lower than our 2045. So that pretty much does it. That shows you. You do not want to stack Fire Ores, you do not want to stack Brute Elixirs or buffs. They do not stack, it is not going to help you. There's only one value for each, so there's no point in doing that. Do not waste it. Save yourself the trouble, save yourself the time, and go ahead and make sure that you don't use any of those things. Well, that pretty much does it for this guide. I hope this was able to help you out, and I hope you were able to learn something from it. Hopefully I'll be able to get you guys the next guide on recovery as soon as possible. I am actually in the works in that right now. And I'd like to thank Burr for providing the guide that will actually gave all of this information for me. I'm going to be linking that down in the description. And I'm also going to be linking my Facebook page. If you have any other questions regarding this, make sure you come there and check me out and ask me any questions you have. Alright guys, take it easy.